Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Hockey Talk with TG podcast. I'm Ty Glenn. Hope you guys are having a great Friday. Apologies for not getting the episode out Wednesday. I had a couple errands I needed to do, and so I was unable to get an episode out Wednesday. But we are back with another episode of the Hockey Talk with TG podcast today. Before we get started, make sure you guys follow the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. And also make sure to subscribe to the Hockey Talk with TG podcast YouTube channel. I know I kind of been saying it a lot lately. That's because I'm trying to, grow the podcast and stuff. And so I really appreciate it if you guys hit me with a follow. And on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and also subscribe to the YouTube channel. That would really help me out. And I'll also help you guys out so you guys won't have to miss another episode of the Hockey Talk TG podcast, and you'll be staying up to date on the latest NHL news I bring on this podcast. But without further ado, we are going to go ahead and get started. So Samuel Ersson, he has replaced Jacob Markstrom for the 2025 NHL 4 Nations Face-Off event. Of course, Jacob Markstrom is out 4 to 6 weeks with a sprained MCL in his knee that he had on January 22nd. And so he will miss the 4 Nations event that's coming in February. And so Samuel Ersson will take his place there. And taking a look at Samuel Ersson's stats, he is 15-9-2 with a 2.86 goals against average and a .890 save percentage and 2 shutouts this season. He's played 28 games. He's only started 27 of those games, and he's also the 4th Philadelphia Flyers player to be playing in this event. Of course, the other players, Travis Konecny and Travis Sanheim of Team Canada, and Rasmus Ristolainen of Team Finland, will also compete in this tournament. And Samuel Ersson has had some international experience of hockey before. He won the bronze medal at the 2024 IIHF World Championship. So he'll bring that to the table for Team Sweden. And taking a look at Jacob Markstrom's stats before he went down with that injury, he's 21-9-5 with a 2.20 goals against average and a .912 save percentage and 3 shutouts in 36 games played this season. He started all 36 of those games, and obviously tough blow to have Jacob Markstrom out, and obviously a tough blow is you have him on your fantasy hockey team like I do. Like I have Jacob Markstrom on my fantasy hockey team, and it's going to be tough not seeing him be able to play for the next 4 to 6 weeks. At least on the bright side, I have 2 other great goaltenders on my fantasy hockey team like Pierre Kochetkov and Jake Ottinger, so I really wouldn't be worried too much about that. Other injury news, Miro Heiskanen, he's going to be out with a week-to-week with a knee injury, and so he will miss the 2025 NHL 4 Nations Face-Off event. He left the game with 12 minutes and 4 seconds left to go in the third period after Vegas Golden Knights captain Mark Stone collided with his left leg. And, of course, the Stars had a 4-3 overtime win. I think Wyatt Johnston had a hat trick in that game. I'm not 100% sure. But Miro Heiskanen, he leads Dallas defensemen with 25 points in 50 games played this season. So 5 goals, 20 assists for 25 points in 50 games this season. He's 6th in the NHL in ice time per game with 25 minutes and 10 seconds. And he's 2nd on the Stars with 85 blocked shots. And as a key player for both the Stars and Team Finland, his absence will leave a big gap in their defense, and that the other Dallas Stars defense will need to fill and, kind of take spot and, step up for the defense, because Miro Heiskanen, he is the anchor for the Dallas Stars defenseman, a great young player to watch, and obviously it's tough seeing him go down with that injury, and hopefully he has a speedy recovery. And I know he's going to be out week to week, but hopefully he gets back in the lineup as soon as possible. All right, so the 2025 NHL 4 Nations Face-Off captains were announced on Thursday. So Austin Matthews, who captained Team USA, Matthew Tkachuk, and Charlie McAvoy are the alternate captains. For Team Canada, Sidney Crosby will captain Team Canada. Connor McDavid and Cale Makar are the alternate captains for Team Sweden. Victor Hedman will captain Team Sweden. Matthias Ekholm, Erik Karlsson, and William Nylander are the alternate captains. And for Team Finland, Alexander Barkov will lead the way, and Sebastian Aho, Mikael Granlund, and Mikko Rantanen are the alternate captains. So we're going to break this down section by section. So it was no-brainer that Auston Matthews was going to be team captain of USA. He's one of the best, arguably the best, because I know there's going to be a lot of NHL goal scorers for years to come. One of the best NHL goal scorers, and he has the least shot in his arsenal. He's a two-way player, and no doubt in mind that he's going to step up for Team USA come Four Nations. Of course, Matthew Tkachuk, he's going to bring that physicality and grit and grind for Team USA, and he is going to be a strong offensive presence to the team. Charlie McAvoy, top-tier defenseman to watch in the NHL, and of course, a great defenseman to watch for the Boston Bruins. He's known for his ability to shut down opponents and contribute offensively. And this roster, I'd probably say with Auston Matthews, Charlie McAvoy, Matthew Tkachuk, Brady Tkachuk, Jack Hughes, Quinn Hughes. This roster is built around speed, skill, and physicality. Key attributes for all three of the team leaders. And for Sidney Crosby, of course, no doubt in mind that he was going to be captain of Team Canada. He's won some international success before with Team Canada, such as scoring the golden goal and winning Olympic gold medals. And all the other international stuff that I can't really name besides those two things I just mentioned. And, of course, Sidney Crosby, he is a leader on and off the ice, a three-time Stanley Cup champion, an Olympic gold medalist, and he brings that legendary leadership to Team Canada. And he's won like multiple gold medals for Team Canada, so his leadership has been instrumental in that international success. And Connor McDavid, arguably the fastest and most skilled player in the NHL. He has elite offensive firepower as one of the alternate captains. And Cale Makar, he's won the Norris Trophy. He's a Stanley Cup champion, and he provides that dynamic playmaking ability from the back end. And I said this before, I'll say it again. He is the Connor McDavid on defense, and no doubt in mind that he's going to bring a lot to the table as, you know, being one of the alternate captains. And of course, this team, it's a stacked team for sure, kind of like all the other Four Nations team. It's a stacked team. It's also a high-paced offensive attack team with strong two-way play. So I think I'm going to have Team Canada winning this event, but we'll just have to see because all these other rosters, like I said, are stacked as well. Victor Hedman, of course, he'll captain Team Sweden. Matthias Ekholm, Erik Karlsson, William Nylander are the alternate captains. And, of course, Victor Hedman, a two-time Stanley Cup champion. He leads with his size, defensive prowess, and elite passing ability. Of course, he's also a Conn Smythe Trophy winner. He won the Conn Smythe Trophy back in 2020 during the bubble and during COVID. And, of course, Erik Karlsson, a three-time Norris Trophy winner. He adds offensive creativity from the blue line. And William Nylander, who is known for his scoring ability, provides a dynamic offensive presence among the forwards. And for Matthias Ekholm, of course, he's had some Stanley Cup final. Well, I wouldn't say success, since he's lost two of his Stanley Cup finals, one with Nashville and then, of course, the other one with Edmonton. But he's had some playoff success, I think. I really wouldn't say too much on that. But he brings physicality and experience to Sweden's leadership core. And this team is built on strong defensive play, offensive skill, and ability to control the pace of the game. All right, so Alexander Barkov, he's going to be captain of Team Finland. Sebastian Aho, Mikael Granlund, and Mikko Rantanen are alternate captains. Of course, Alexander Barkov, first Finnish-born captain to lead his team to the Stanley Cup. He's also a Selke Trophy winner, and he's also a two-way center. And he leads with skill, composure, and elite defensive play. Sebastian Aho, top-line center. Of course, he's got his buddy Mikko Rantanen on the Carolina Hurricanes now. And he's known for his strong playmaking skills and clutch goal scoring ability, and Mikko Rantanen, he brings the size, he brings the speed, and he brings a lot of offensive production to that group. And Mikael Granlund, he has that veteran experience and versatility. He's capable of playing both center and wing for this tournament. And Finland's leadership group is known for strong hockey IQ, defensive responsibility, and offensive skills. So all four of these players have a lot of offensive talent. And this team will focus on discipline. It will be disciplined. It's also a structured team. And it has a high emphasis on two-way play. So that's my notes and thoughts down for the 2025 NHL Four Nations Face-Off. Captains and alternate captains. I kind of knew who the captains were going to be before they were announced. I didn't know who the alternate captains would be, but I did have a few players in mind on who would be alternate captains. But for the captains, I kind of already knew who it was going to be before it was announced. All right, moving on to Marc-Andre Fleury's game in Montreal. So he stopped all 19 shots faced in net in the Minnesota Wild's 4-0 shutout win over the Montreal Canadiens. This is the 76th career shutout for Marc-Andre Fleury and first shutout of this season. And he ties Ed Belfour and Tony Esposito for 10th place on the NHL shutout list. Of course, one person that's ahead of him that he looks forward to passing in his possible final season of the NHL is Roberto Luongo. And he's also the fourth visiting goaltender to have at least 3 shutouts at the Bell Center. Of course, Martin Brodeur, he had 5. Cam Talbot, he had 4. And Roberto Luongo, he had 3. And he's also the first goaltender in NHL history to record a shutout as a teenager and at 40 years old or older. And he's second in wins behind Martin Brodeur, one of his favorite goalies growing up. Of course, Martin Brodeur has 691 wins. And yeah, like I said, one of his favorite goalies growing up. Of course, the other one was Patrick Roy. And this could be his possible final game in Montreal for Marc-Andre Fleury. So, he had to close it out with a dub, even though the game was also emotional as well. But it was nice to see Marc-Andre Fleury get the win. And Minnesota moves to 31-17-4 of the season. They sweep the season series against Montreal, both of them being shutout wins. They had a shutout win back at the XL Energy Center on November 14th. That was a 3-0 shutout win for the Wild. And Marco Rossi and Frederick Gaudreau each had a goal and an assist for a 2-point night. Liam Ogren and Devin Shore each scored their first goal of the season in the shutout win. And the Wild, they have won 3 in a row. They won 3 games in a row. They're 4-3-0 in their last 7 games. And they continue their 5-game road trip in Ottawa against the Senators Saturday at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Still staying on the topic for Marc-Andre Fleury's possible last home game in Montreal, here is a few key points to point out. Of course, Marc-Andre Fleury, he's from Sorel, Tracy, Quebec, which is an hour away from Montreal. I believe I heard this on NHL Network. It's an hour away from Montreal, and this will possibly be his final game in Montreal, which makes the shutout a memorial, excuse me, it's kind of like a tongue twister right there. A memorial hometown farewell. And this was his 76th career shutout, first this season, like I mentioned. And during the third period timeout, Canadiens fans honored Marc-Andre Fleury with a standing ovation, and they chanted his last name, Fleury, Fleury. And players from both teams, both the Wild and Canadiens, had applauded him, gave him his flowers, that's his nickname, and they showed a lot of respect and admiration for Marc-Andre Fleury. He's certainly one of the best NHL goaltenders of all time, and no doubt in mind that he will be inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame when it's all said and done. And against Montreal alone in his career, he is 28-13-8 with a he's 28 13-8. Excuse me if I'm getting my words mixed up. In his career against Montreal, I don't know the goals against the average and the save percentage he has against them, but I know his record is 28, 13-8. And obviously a great record to have against your hometown team. And of course, like I mentioned before, he grew up watching Patrick Roy and Martin Brodeur, who both influenced his playing style and his career aspirations. And for Minnesota Wild fans, his Marc-Andre Fleury's stellar performance not only contribute to their third win in a row, but also showcase the veteran leadership and experience for him as well. And we'll see if the Wild can, win the Western Conference. They're one of the top teams to watch in the NHL. And just take a look at Marc-Andre Fleury's career alone. He is .572, .335, and .95 with a 2.60 goals against average and a .908 save percentage with the Penguins, Golden Knights, Blackhawks, and Wild. He is a three-time Stanley Cup champion. Of course, he won in 2009, 2016, and 2017. He won the Vezina Trophy in 2021 with the Vegas Golden Knights. He won the William M. Jennings Trophy in 2021 with the Vegas Golden Knights. And so he's had a great career. And certainly we'll miss him in the NHL if he decides to hang up the skates and retire. And if that happens at the end of the season, best of luck on his retirement. He's had a great career. He's had a lot of accolades in his career, and he was certainly instrumental during his time with the Pittsburgh Penguins, leading them to 3 Stanley Cups. So, yeah, gonna miss Marc-Andre Fleury in the NHL. I know a lot of young goalies, especially ones in Montreal, want to be like Marc-Andre Fleury, and hopefully he'll be an inspiration to those goalies in Montreal and, to goalies everywhere in general. So, yeah. And moving on. So, the Philadelphia Flyers and Calgary Flames made a late night trade last night in the Flames' 4-1 win over the Anaheim Ducks. Of course, the Flyers also played last night, which they got shut out by the New York Islanders, 3-0. Their second straight shutout loss for the Flyers. But in that trade, the Flyers acquired for Jacob Pelletier, Andre Kuzmenko, a 2025 second-round pick and a 2028 seventh-round pick for Joe Farabee and Morgan Frost. Breaking down this trade, so after standout debut NHL season for Andre Kuzmenko with 39 goals and 74 points, his production has gone downhill, and hopefully the Flyers will rejuvenate his scoring touch. Of course, he's going to be reunited with his buddy Mateev Michikov. They both played with each other in the KHL. They'll be playing with each other on the Philadelphia Flyers. And his stats with the Flames, he's had 15 points in 37 games played this season with a -7 ±, 4 goals, 11 assists for 15 points in 37 games played with a -7 ± for the Calgary Flames. And for Jacob Pelletier, he's a former first-round pick. He's showing promise. He has potential, and the Philadelphia Flyers will give him more opportunities to develop his game. And taking a look for his season with the Calgary Flames, he has 11 points in 23 games played, 4 goals, 7 assists for 11 points in 23 games played with the Flames this season with a +10 ±. And of course, I didn't expect Joe Farabee and Morgan Frost to be traded. I thought they were going to be cornerstone pieces for the Philadelphia Flyers and finish their careers. Excuse me. I thought they were going to finish their careers with the Philadelphia Flyers, but they get traded to the Calgary Flames, and I think this will be great for them. Of course, they're probably needed for a change of scenery, and this trade involves a significant salary movements with over $13 million in contracts exchange. And of course, with the 2025 second round pick and the 2028 seventh round pick for the Flyers, they will probably add additional assets for the future or probably just build up on trades. And taking a look at this, the Flyers appear to be focused on acquiring potential and future assets, while the Flames hope to be in the playoffs and bolster their current lineup with players ready to contribute immediately. My thoughts on this, like I said, I didn't expect Joel Farabee and Morgan Frost to be traded. I thought they were going to be Philadelphia Flyers forever and finish their careers with the Flyers and be cornerstone pieces with the Flyers. I did not expect them to be traded, but there was rumors out there saying that they would be traded, but I found that too hard to believe until I actually saw that happen. So there are no winners. There's no losers in this trade. At least in my opinion, you guys might think differently, but I don't think there's no winners or losers in this trade. I think it's a solid, fair trade. Of course, Calgary's looking to be in the playoffs. The Philadelphia Flyers, I can't say for them if they'll be a playoff team or not, because it feels like every team in the Eastern Conference is trying to be in that dogfight for the Stanley Cup playoffs. And of course, the Islanders, they had a shutout win over the Flyers last night, and they're trying to be in that playoff mix right there. So it's like a dogfight in the Eastern Conference. So it feels like you never know which team could possibly make it. Moving on to the Hurricanes and Blackhawks games. Mikko Rantanen, he scored his first goal as a Carolina Hurricane in the Hurricanes' 3-2 win over the Chicago Blackhawks. Of course, he was acquired from the Colorado Avalanche last Friday in that 3-team trade that involved the Blackhawks for forwards Martin Necas, Jack Drury, and a second-round pick in the 2025 NHL Draft. Taylor Hall did not play in this game against his former team because he was out with an illness. And the Hurricanes have won 8 straight games in a row against the Blackhawks, and they sweep their season series against the Blackhawks. Of course, they won 4-3 back in overtime. They won 4-3 in overtime back in Chicago at the United Center. Sebastian Aho had the game-winning goal in that game. And with Mikko Rantanen scoring his first goal with the Carolina Hurricanes in yesterday's win, and I thought he had a solid debut with the Hurricanes. But everybody wants to know, what can Mikko Rantanen bring to the table for the Carolina Hurricanes? Of course, he's going to be reunited with his buddy Sebastian Aho. Of course, they played with each other on Finland's national team, World Juniors, and I think the World Championship. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but I think they play with each other in the World Juniors. And so they have strong on-ice chemistry right there. And, of course, Mikko Rantanen, he is a offensive prowess. He's going to bring a lot of offensive prowess to the team. Of course, before the trade with him going to Carolina, he had 25 goals, 25 goals, 64 points in 49 games played with the Colorado Avalanche before he was traded to Carolina. Of course, he's still kind of shocked and surprised that this trade happened. He didn't expect to be traded. But what I think is that the Avalanche, I think he was going to be a free agent at the end of the season, and I think the Avalanche were unwilling to sign him. So that's why they, kind of traded him, but hopefully he comes to the Blackhawks in the summer, because there's been some rumors that the Blackhawks could either get Mikko Rantanen or Mitch Marner during the offseason when this 2024-25 NHL season is over with. And, of course, Mikko Rantanen also brings size and physicality to the team. So he's 6'4", weighs 215 pounds, and his physical presence can create space for his line mates and contribute to puck possession. And, of course, he's known for his vision and playmaking skills, and he can effectively set up scoring opportunities, and he can also complement Sebastian Aho's goal-scoring talents. And he'll be a key piece for the Carolina Hurricanes power play. Of course, their penalty, I think the Hurricanes special teams in general, it's not bad. It's really good. Their penalty kills first in the league, I believe. And their power play, I don't know about their power play, but if their power play is like 14th, 15th in the league, I think I will disagree with that, because I think the Hurricanes have a great power play group right there. So if their power play is 14th, 15th in the league, I don't think it should be. They have a great power play group. The special teams is also good. They killed off two through the penalties against the Blackhawks in yesterday's game, so they have a really good penalty kill, and they have a great power play group. And this will also be a promising start for Mikko Rantanen. I mean, I can't wait to see what he does in Carolina. Probably the Hurricanes will re-sign him during the offseason, depending on how he does with the Hurricanes. But I think he's going to have a great second half of the year with the Carolina Hurricanes, and he'll contribute right away. I mean, we just saw him score his first goal with the Hurricanes in yesterday's win against the Blackhawks, and many more to come for the Moose in Carolina. All right, so Utah Hockey Club, they made this change yesterday. They now have 3 names on what the full team name could be. So they swapped out Wasatch, which I had to look that up to see what it was, which I'll explain to you guys what that means in just a second. So, of course, Utah Hockey Club is now narrowed down to 3 names, which, of course, first one being Utah Hockey Club, as we pretty much all expected. Utah Mammoth and Utah Outlaws. Utah Yeti is out, so they're not going to be called the Utah Yeti. Thoughts on this? I think all these names suck, if I'm being honest. All 3 of these team names suck. I mean, if you wanted the best team name, Utah Yetis would have been a great team name. Utah Blizzards would have been a great team name. But all 3 of these names basically suck. And before they swapped out Wasatch, I had to look that up. Like, what in the world is a Wasatch? Like, I didn't know what that meant. And so I had to look that up. And it was, like a mountain range in Utah. So that's what it was. But I know a lot of other people who are familiar with that name. They also looked that up to see what it was. I looked that up for myself to see what it was. And it turns out it's like a mountain range in Utah. So that's basically what it is. But I don't like all these team names that they have get. But if I had to choose between Utah Hockey Club, Utah Mammoth, and Utah Outlaws, I probably would go with Utah Mammoth. I mean, Utah Outlaws kind of seems more Texas themed. It kind of seems more Texas theme or Wild Wild West theme. It kind of seems more like that, and so that kind of doesn't make sense for Utah. So I'd probably pick Utah Mammoth out of these 3 team names. But like I said, I think all these team names suck, and they shouldn't be a team name. Utah Yetis, Utah Blizzards was the best ones out there, and so I would have gone with one of those. But all 3 of these team names suck. But if I had to choose one, I'd probably choose Utah Mammoth. It kind of makes more sense right there. Utah Hockey Club, it's basically like a middle school, high school team name, possibly a college team name. Utah Mammoth kind of makes more sense right here based on the color scheme that Utah has. Utah Outlaws, like I said, kind of seems more Texas theme or like country theme is, so I wouldn't pick them. And yeah, those are my thoughts on it. Let me know you guys' thoughts. Do you agree or disagree with what I said? I would love to hear from you guys as always. So yeah. All right, NHL games on the slate for today. So we got 4 games on the slate. Got the Nashville Predators taking on the Buffalo Sabres at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. I think this is the first meeting of the season between the 2 teams. And this game will air on NHL Network for you guys to watch. And then we got the Vancouver Canucks taking on the Dallas Stars at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Followed by a Central Division showdown between the St. Louis Blues and Colorado Avalanche at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time. And then to wrap up the night, we got the Columbus Blue Jackets taking on Utah Hockey Club at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for this episode of Hockey Talk with TG Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in as always. Make sure to give me a follow on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. Make sure you subscribe to the subscribe to the TG Hockey channel, and also make sure that you're subscribed to the Hockey Talk with TG Podcast YouTube channel. We're with you guys every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11:30 a.m. to noon Central Time. So make sure you subscribe to the podcast channel along with giving me a follow on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day. Hopefully you have a great weekend. God first as always. Be blessed. I'll see you guys Monday for another episode of the Hockey Talk with TG podcast. Take care.